Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we focus on health information that's specifically relevant for adults over 60. Real information, no gimmicks, no scare tactics, just things your body is actually trying to tell you. Explained in plain language so you can make smart decisions for yourself and the people you love. Now, today's topic hits close to home for a lot of us. Memory, cognitive sharpness. That feeling of being mentally on versus that foggy, sluggish sensation where words escape you mid-sentence and thoughts dissolve before you can finish them. After age 60, your brain becomes more sensitive to what you feed it, not less. The blood-brain barrier, which is basically a security gate that decides what gets into your brain tissue, starts to weaken slightly as we age. That means the sugar you eat, the chemicals in processed food, the antioxidants in fresh produce, all of it reaches your brain cells more directly than it did when you were 35. So fruit choices matter enormously right now, more than they ever have. And that's exactly why we need to talk about the one fruit most seniors eat daily without a second thought, and why it could be silently accelerating memory decline. All right, let's address the elephant in the room, or rather, the banana on the counter. Yes, we're talking about bananas, specifically overripe bananas, those soft, heavily spotted, deep yellow turning brown ones that taste the sweetest and feel the easiest to chew and digest. Now, before you throw your hands up and say, "Oh, come on, bananas are healthy," let me be very clear about something. A firm, slightly green banana is a completely different food from a brown, mushy, overripe banana, and the difference matters for your brain more than most doctors ever bother to explain. Here's what happens. When a banana ripens past that firm yellow stage, the resistant starch inside it, which is a slow-digesting, gut-friendly fiber, converts almost entirely into simple sugars. We're talking glucose, fructose, and sucrose. By the time that banana is covered in brown spots and feels soft to the touch, its sugar content has skyrocketed. One overripe banana can contain the sugar equivalent of nearly 6 teaspoons of table sugar, 6 teaspoons, in a single piece of fruit. Now, why does that matter for your memory? Dr. Suzanne de la Monte, a neuropathologist at Brown University, published research that fundamentally changed how the medical community thinks about Alzheimer's disease. Her team found such a strong connection between insulin resistance in the brain and cognitive decline that she actually coined the term type 3 diabetes to describe Alzheimer's. That phrase, type 3 diabetes, tells you everything. When your brain cells become resistant to insulin, they can't absorb glucose efficiently. They starve. They malfunction. And the first thing you notice? Memory problems, difficulty concentrating, mental fog that rolls in thicker every year. Every time you eat a high-sugar food, especially on an empty stomach, which is exactly how most people eat their morning banana, your blood sugar spikes rapidly. Insulin floods your bloodstream. And over time, with repeated spikes day after day, month after month, year after year, your brain cells start to dull their response to insulin. They stop listening. They stop absorbing fuel properly. Think of it like this. Imagine your brain cells have tiny doors on them. Insulin is the key that opens those doors so energy can get inside. When you constantly flood the system with sugar, those locks start to corrode. The key doesn't turn as smoothly. Eventually, the door barely opens at all. Your brain cell is sitting right next to its fuel supply, and it can't access any of it. That's what overripe bananas contribute to when eaten habitually. Not overnight, not from one banana, but from that daily ritual. The soft banana with breakfast, sliced into cereal, blended into a smoothie, repeated thousands of times across years and decades. And there's another layer to this that almost nobody talks about. Bananas are one of the most heavily sprayed conventional fruits in the global supply chain. A 2020 analysis published in the journal Environmental Health Perspectives found residues of chlorpyrifos, an organophosphate pesticide, on conventional banana samples at levels that, while technically below regulatory limits, showed measurable neurotoxic effects in laboratory models. Organophosphates work by disrupting acetylcholine, which is the exact neurotransmitter most critical for memory formation and recall. It's the same neurotransmitter that Alzheimer's medications like donepezil are designed to protect. So you've got a double hit: the sugar surge damaging insulin signaling in the brain, and potential pesticide residues interfering with your primary memory neurotransmitter. Does that mean you can never eat a banana again? Of course not. A firm, just right banana eaten alongside protein and healthy fat, say with a handful of walnuts or a spoonful of almond butter, behaves very differently in your bloodstream. The sugar absorbs slowly, the fiber is still intact, the spike is minimal. The problem is the pattern most seniors have fallen into. The overripe banana eaten alone, first thing in the morning on a completely empty stomach. That pattern, that quiet daily habit, is what accumulates into real cognitive damage over time. Many seniors ignore this because the banana feels gentle on the stomach. It's soft, it's easy to eat, it doesn't require chewing if your teeth are sensitive, and it tastes wonderfully sweet without needing to add anything. All of those qualities make it appealing, and all of those qualities are precisely what make it problematic for blood sugar, and therefore for memory. So what do you reach for instead? That's exactly what we're covering next. 5 fruits, all widely available, all affordable, all delicious, that a growing body of peer-reviewed research shows can actively protect and even improve your memory after 60. These aren't exotic superfoods you need to order online. You can find every single one of them at your local grocery store this week. Let's get into them. Fruit number 1, blueberries. If your brain could write a thank you note to one fruit, it would address it to the blueberry. Dr. Robert Krikorian and his research team at the University of Cincinnati conducted a landmark clinical trial, published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry, where they gave older adults with early memory complaints the equivalent of 1 cup of blueberries per day for 16 weeks. Just 16 weeks. The results stopped people in their tracks. The blueberry group showed measurably improved word recall, better task switching ability, and, this is the part that made headlines, increased blood flow to specific brain regions associated with memory on functional MRI scans. Their brains literally lit up differently. The compounds responsible are called anthocyanins. That deep blue-purple pigment isn't just pretty. It's a potent class of antioxidants that crosses the blood-brain barrier. Remember that security gate we talked about earlier, and goes directly to work inside your hippocampus. That's your brain's memory headquarters. The filing cabinet where short-term experiences get stamped into long-term storage. One NPC thought placeholder, not applicable here since this isn't role play. Anthocyanins reduce neuroinflammation, which is the chronic low-grade swelling inside brain tissue that accelerates cognitive decline. They also stimulate something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF for short, which you can think of as fertilizer for brain cells. BDNF helps neurons grow new connections and strengthens existing ones. Fresh or frozen, it doesn't matter. Frozen blueberries are picked and flash frozen at peak ripeness, so they retain nearly all their anthocyanin content. Toss a handful into oatmeal. Eat them straight out of the bag as a cold snack. Blend them into a smoothie with some Greek yogurt and a tablespoon of flaxseed. Your hippocampus will notice. Genuinely. Fruit number 2, avocados. Yes, avocados are a fruit, and yes, they belong on this list. Your brain is roughly 60% fat by dry weight. It's the fattiest organ in your entire body, and it is desperately dependent on monounsaturated fatty acids to maintain the integrity of its cell membranes, those thin, flexible walls surrounding every single neuron that allow electrical signals to pass smoothly from one cell to the next. An avocado is one of the richest whole food sources of monounsaturated fat on the planet. 1/2 of a medium Hass avocado delivers roughly 11 grams of it, along with significant amounts of folate, vitamin K, vitamin E, and potassium, all of which play documented roles in cognitive maintenance. A 2017 study from Tufts University, published in Nutrients, found that older adults who ate one avocado per day for 6 months showed significant improvements in working memory and problem-solving efficiency compared to a control group eating chickpeas with equivalent calories and fiber. The researchers attributed the difference specifically to the lutein content in avocados, a carotenoid that accumulates in brain tissue and appears to protect against oxidative damage in the prefrontal cortex. Lutein is the same compound that protects your eyes from macular degeneration. Turns out, it protects your thinking brain too. Spread half an avocado on whole grain toast with a sprinkle of sea salt and black pepper. Dice it into a salad, mash it with a fork, and eat it straight with a squeeze of lemon and a pinch of garlic powder. However you eat it, eat it. Your neurons are begging for that fat. Quick pause right here. If you're over 60, or if you're caring for an elderly parent, spouse, or loved one, this information could genuinely change the trajectory of their cognitive health. I don't say that lightly. I say it because the research is there, and most people simply never hear about it from their primary care doctor. So do me a favor. If you're finding value in this, hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss future videos like this one. And share this video with someone you care about. Text it to your daughter, send the link to your neighbor, post it on Facebook, because the person who needs this information most might not be searching for it themselves. All right, back to the list. 3 more fruits to cover. Fruit number 3, oranges. There's a reason your grandmother kept a bowl of oranges on the kitchen table. She might not have known the neuroscience behind it, but her instincts were medically sound. One large navel orange provides nearly 100% of your daily vitamin C requirement. And vitamin C is not just for colds. A sweeping meta-analysis published in Nutrients in 2019 reviewed over 50 studies and concluded that individuals with higher blood levels of vitamin C had consistently better performance on tests measuring attention, memory, and processing speed, particularly after age 65. Vitamin C is a water-soluble antioxidant, which means it operates in the fluid-filled spaces between your brain cells, mopping up free radicals that would otherwise damage the delicate communication junctions called synapses. Without adequate vitamin C, those synapses corrode. Messages misfire. You reach for a word and grab air instead. Here's the critical point. Your body cannot store vitamin C. It flushes whatever it doesn't use within hours. So you need a fresh supply every single day. A whole orange, not orange juice, which strips the fiber and concentrates the sugar, delivers that supply in a slow-release package that your bloodstream absorbs gradually and your brain uses efficiently. Peel one after lunch, segment it, and drop it into a spinach salad with some sliced almonds and a drizzle of olive oil. That combination, vitamin C plus healthy fat, actually enhances absorption. Your brain gets more of what it needs from less food. Fruit. Number 4, pomegranates. Pomegranates are ancient. Humans have cultivated them for over 5,000 years, and modern neuroscience is finally catching up to what traditional medicine intuited long ago. This fruit is extraordinary for the aging brain. Dr. Susan Buchheimer at UCLA led a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial, the gold standard of medical research, where older adults with mild memory complaints drank 8 ounces of pomegranate juice daily for 4 weeks. At the end of the trial, the pomegranate group showed statistically significant improvement in verbal memory tasks. They also showed increased functional brain activity during memory testing on MRI scans. The findings were published in Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine and have been cited in over 100 subsequent studies. The magic lies in a compound called punic alagun, one of the most potent polyphenol antioxidants ever measured in a food. Punic alagun has demonstrated the ability to inhibit the formation of beta-amyloid plaques in laboratory models. Those plaques are the sticky protein deposits that accumulate between neurons in Alzheimer's disease, disrupting communication and eventually killing brain cells. Fresh pomegranate seeds, those jewel-like ruby arils, are spectacular, sprinkled over yogurt, scattered across a grain bowl, or eaten by the handful while you watch the evening news. The crunch between your teeth, That burst of tart sweet juice, the faint astringent finish on the tongue, there's nothing quite like it. And every aril is delivering a compound that may be physically preventing plaque from building up in your brain. If fresh pomegranates aren't in season, look for pure pomegranate juice, not cocktail blends, with no added sugar. Read the label carefully. The ingredient list should say one thing: pomegranate juice. Period. Fruit number 5, strawberries. We're ending on a fruit that most people already love, and that carries a research pedigree most people have never heard about. The Rush University Memory and Aging Project, one of the longest-running and most respected longitudinal studies on diet and dementia in the world, tracked over 900 adults for an average of 7 years. Their findings, published in the Annals of Neurology, showed that participants who ate strawberries at least twice per week had significantly slower rates of cognitive decline compared to those who ate them once a month or less. We're talking measurably slower. The strawberry eaters effectively aged more slowly, cognitively speaking, than their peers. Strawberries are rich in a flavonoid called fisetin. Fisetin has gained enormous attention in the neuroscience community because of its demonstrated ability to activate long-term memory pathways in animal models, specifically pathways involving the hippocampus. Fisetin also reduces neuroinflammatory markers and has shown senolytic properties, meaning it helps clear out damaged, dysfunctional zombie cells that accumulate in aging tissue and release toxic compounds into the surrounding environment. 8 medium strawberries. That's a serving. Roughly 45 calories. Almost no sugar impact because of the fiber matrix holding everything together. Slice them over morning oatmeal alongside those blueberries we talked about earlier, and you've created what some researchers informally call a brain bowl, a single breakfast delivering 2 of the most neuroprotective fruits known to science. The smell alone, that bright, sun-warmed sweetness cutting through the steam rising off the oats, is enough to make mornings feel worth showing up for. Let's bring this all together so it sticks. The overripe banana, soft, brown-spotted, eaten alone on an empty stomach every morning, creates repeated blood sugar spikes that, over years, contribute to insulin resistance in the brain. That insulin resistance starves your neurons of energy, accelerates inflammation, and gradually erodes your ability to form and retrieve memories. It's not dramatic, it's not sudden, it's quiet, and that's what makes it dangerous. Your 5 brain-protecting fruits, starting tomorrow morning: blueberries, packed with anthocyanins that cross directly into your hippocampus and reduce neuroinflammation while boosting BDNF. Avocados, loaded with monounsaturated fat and lutein that maintain neuron membrane integrity and support your prefrontal cortex. Oranges, delivering daily vitamin C that guards the synaptic junctions where your memories actually form and transmit. Pomegranates, containing punicalagin, a powerhouse polyphenol shown to inhibit the amyloid plaque buildup associated with Alzheimer's disease. Strawberries, rich in fisetin, a flavonoid that activates long-term memory pathways and clears senescent cells from aging brain tissue. 5 fruits, all at your grocery store, all affordable on a fixed income, all backed by published peer-reviewed human research, not animal studies, not preliminary data, not wellness blog speculation. Your brain at 60, 70, 80 years old is not a lost cause. It is not on an inevitable downward slide. It is a living, adaptive, remarkably resilient organ that responds measurably, visibly on brain scans to what you choose to feed it. Every single day you get to make that choice again. So tomorrow morning, skip the mushy banana. Reach for a bowl of blueberries and sliced strawberries instead. Add half an avocado to your lunch. Peel an orange in the afternoon. Drop some pomegranate seeds into your evening yogurt. These aren't dramatic changes. They're small, quiet, daily decisions, and they accumulate, just as powerfully as the damage did, but in the opposite direction. If this video opened your eyes to something you didn't know before, hit that like button so we know to keep making content like this. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We publish new senior health videos every single week, and every one of them is designed to give you clear, practical, trustworthy information you can actually use. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these 5 fruits are you going to start with this week? I read every single comment and I'd love to hear from you. And please, share this video with someone you love, your spouse, your siblings, your best friend from church. Because the people who need this most are often the ones who won't go looking for it on their own. You can be the person who puts it in front of them. Take care of that brilliant brain of yours. It carried you this far. Now it's your turn to carry it forward. I'll see you in the next one.